Welcome to Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sports. This is the #1 place for all your fantasy content. We do the research, so you don't have to. But wait, so you don't play fantasy? We have you covered with all your F1, IPL, and UCL content. So head on over to the Fantasy Pavilion YouTube page, like, subscribe, stay connected with us. We have all the content you're looking for. Fix that team though, and do better. The last year you were doing shaky. But this year we're doing better. We're doing better this year.
Yes, guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sport. Afcon 2023 is heating up really nicely. We are now approaching the round of 16 stage, which kicks off on Saturday. And we are here, of course, to preview the action and to try and discuss the best assets going forward. And of course, I am joined by my co-host for this tournament so far, Latimus Prime. Latimus, are you there with us?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Hey, bro, good evening to you. Well, it's 1:53 here in Trinidad, and it's what, 5:53 in the UK? Is that correct?
It is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
How are you? How was your week? How are things?
I am good. My week's been good. Nigeria doing the business, getting out of the group. Chelsea doing the business, getting to another cup final. So my own country are doing well.
Doing well, exactly. And are you super shocked by the Super Eagles?
Yes. Because usually with Nigeria, the past few years, I've always said that our attacking strength is strong, but defensively we are weak. This tournament, though, it's been a complete 180. We've been very strong defensively. Playing Ivory Coast, who going into the tournament, people would have said our favorites. When we played Guinea-Bissau, strong defensively, a team who caused Ivory Coast problems in the first game. And even when we played Equatorial Guinea in the first game, people laughed at the 1-1 draw, but we saw what they did to Ivory Coast in the third group game. So, yeah, our defense has been our strength. 2 clean sheets, only 1 goal conceded. This back three we're playing, and Stanley Nwambali in goal. Yeah, it's been brilliant. A few shaky moments from them, but still been able to play well as a collective. Our attack, though, has been quite poor. Osimhen has scored in this tournament, but he has missed a couple of chances. We haven't been able to create enough. Some of our forwards, Chokezi and Moses Simon, have been quite poor in the majority of the games. So, yeah, hopefully I'm hoping these things will start to click going forward as the tournament potentially continues.
Yeah. And of course, we're going to get to that in a second, who you guys are facing. But all in all, I'm guessing a nation and a lot of us is super happy given the start, because of course the start was shaky, but we've seen a lot of teams have shaky starts and have progressed. Very shaky starts, a lot of us, and have progressed. Yes. So, and again, as you've been saying, our tagline, this is Afcon. It definitely cannot face value. The face value is not there all the time. Sometimes it's beyond that. And we've seen some teams turn around their fortunes and qualify for the round of 16, shockingly. And we're going to get into that right now. So right here, I have the brackets for the round of 16. And some teams there, Latimus, are teams that should not have been there mathematically up until the last match. yesterday was very, very tight. But some teams, like for example, Mauritania, right? Let's get it out of the way one time, right? Mauritania have made it, right? With their shock win the other day. Cameroon, right? I've been making fun of Eto, and now I've paid for that. Eto has the last laugh. Cameroon. Let's talk about Cameroon for a little bit there, Latimus. Did you see them qualifying?
No, I mean we did our stream, and I said that they would lose against Gambia. I expected, because the last game was an important game for them to potentially go through. I expected them to start Onana, and then I expected him to concede. They didn't play Onana, and they won. And
Nope. And they
so
won.
that is, I think that played a big part in them winning, or
Yeah.
in them going through. To be fair, because if Onana had started, um, and the whole controversy and just poor performances from him all season, more than likely he would have conceded and enough for them to get knocked out. But yeah, they surprisingly and shockingly make it through. Um, yeah, they cannot continue to. They need to start playing a lot better. They can't continue to get away with these performances, I guess. But then again, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, they face us, Nigeria, and I pray Onana's in goal. That's my. I pray he's in goal because their other goalkeeper, he's actually quite good for them.
Right.
Um, Ondoa, I think he was their goalkeeper when they won Afcon in 2017. I don't know if I think so. Yeah, 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 yeah. He was their goalkeeper in 2017 when they won Afcon. So this guy's got he's got pedigree and experience at 28 years old. So long as he's not playing in goal when we face them and it's Onana, 100% we go through. But if he's in goal, if Wandoa's in goal, I don't trust. I don't believe our forwards will do enough to get past him because he's a very good goalkeeper. And that's saying something because typically Africa don't produce a lot of like quality goalkeepers per se, but
Right.
he's a very good goalkeeper for Cameroon, and I'm surprised that I know Onana has the hype and the tag and everything, but in terms of Cameroon, I'm surprised that Onana is their number one, but we'll see. For me, I don't know. For me, I'm just praying Onana's in goal. If Onana's in goal, then there's no excuses for Nigeria not to go through.
There's nothing to worry about. But I'm here. You said something there. You said you hopefully Cameroon could play better. Hopefully they don't play better against you because they're playing you
Well, yeah,
guys. So we don't want.
we don't want them playing
This
better,
is
but yeah, from a Cameroonian perspective, I don't know if I'm not going to say I don't know. I know Cameroonian fans, they are not happy with how they've been performing. I know they're
progressing
not.
so far. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we definitely don't want them all of a sudden to turn on the form. But I've seen some posts on Twitter, people talking about Abu Bakr might potentially be
Yes.
returning, right? But that doesn't strike too much fear, to me because yes, he's returning, but is he going to play the full 90? Would it just be impact? Now we know he's phenomenal. We're not taking anything away from him. Phenomenal striker. But you think that will have an instant impact for Cameroon?
Um. Yeah, I don't know how like fit he'll be to play full 90, but even if he comes on and plays last 15, last 20 minutes, he is he's a very good striker, particularly when it comes
Right.
to Afcon. Abubakar, he is someone who is very proud to represent his country.
Of
I
course.
if the game's tight, if it's 0-0, 1-1, or even if Nigeria are leading by one goal, if he comes on, that will be a true test of how good we are defensively. How good is this backfield? Stanley Wambali and goal. How good are we truly facing one of the best strikers? I know he hasn't played in the tournament yet, but
Right.
he is one of the best strikers in this tournament. So how
Yes.
good if we can keep him out and go through past Cameroon, then that will truly give a lot of confidence to not just our defense but to the team in general. So it'll be very interesting, really interesting test. I'm looking, if I mean, let me ask you, you as a neutral, what are your thoughts on the game? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, that's gonna be a very. I'm excited for all, but this particular game, especially given the form of the two teams, I'm very enticed by that. And that game is Saturday itself, 4 p.m. I'll be at work, but hopefully work not too busy. I'll be able to watch it. Nigeria, Cameroon will definitely feel bolstered and boosted by that addition of him. But I think Nigeria are they're doing dark horse things in the sense of, yes, they're a big name, but it didn't start too well. But then they got the job done tidily and neatly. And I think that they should have enough to handle Cameroon because Cameroon are still leaking goals. That's something that Cameroon has to try and work on. They're leaking goals, right? They conceded what? How much they conceded? So they conceded 4-2, so 6 goals in the group stages. So they definitely need to tidy up on their defending. Whereas Nigeria only conceded 1 goal in the group stages. So that is something they definitely have to work on. So Nigeria clearly have been sound defensively, but let's see where they face off against Akambi and these guys, if they could keep that clean sheet. I think they could. I think they have enough to hold on and defeat Cameroon. But it's definitely going to be an interesting game. And sadly, we also have to look on the flip side. Ladamus, Cameroon could just bring a shock, could come and shock Nigeria all of a sudden. So it definitely is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, like I said, with the way Cameroon are in a bit of disarray and the controversy around them, I think the big thing that could galvanize them will be Abubakar. So if he can play any part, or even if he's on the bench and the presence or the potential of him coming on, that could be enough to to galvanize them together. So that is what I don't want. I don't want him potentially coming on and making an impact and causing a bit of disruption. But it'll be an interesting game. We'll be live. I'll be live on Sarcasm City, watching it. Yeah, it'll be. And I look at the bracket, for
Yes,
Nigeria.
let's take a look at that. Yep, yep.
Yeah, and I just think if we get past Cameroon, the rest of them, potentially.
Yes.
I don't want to write off anyone because it's Afcon, but potentially
Of course.
we could be in a semi-final if we beat
Yes.
Cameroon.
Yes.
And that kind of, I don't want to get too excited, but that kind of makes me happy. So just get past this one game at a time. Get past this Cameroon game, and then we're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to break down this whole round robin here, but it's very, very interesting. As you said, Nigeria could potentially be in the semifinals. Now, on paper, I would like to say they have, I guess, the most favorable draw aside from maybe whoever wins in Morocco, South Africa. But Cape Verde is no team to scoff at. They could definitely pose whoever they face a lot of trouble. But I think this side of the left side of the bracket is the best compared to that right side. That right side is a little intimidated for me, at least. But definitely, this round of 16 should be very interesting. But before we get into that, again, as I said, there's some interesting omissions from this round of 16. Algeria did not make it. I had them poised, but they did not make it, shockingly. Another team that They were doing okay, but they lost to Mauritania in that last game, and Mauritania being the shock of that group, forcing them out. So that was very interesting. Another interesting one is Tunisia, a big name, Ladamas, in Afcon. No Tunisia. That one, that one was a bit of a shock. But again, they went to, they were a bit hot and cold in their group. And again, you're gonna get punished. This tournament, you cannot cruise. You had to be on it from the start, or at least try to get a solid victory in the end. And all those draws weren't helpful. Ghana, I know you will want to say something on that one, Latimus. I'm very happy that Ghana, once again, with a poor showing at another Afcon. Thoughts on Ghana? Thoughts on Algeria, Tunisia? Shocked by the, well, we're not shocked by Ghana, but shocked by the Tunisia, Algeria?
Well, yeah, Ghana. I mean, I've had numerous discussions with one of my friends, Jez, who is Ghanaian, and I've been telling him for months that I know you don't, the whole situation going on, you don't rate the manager and the FA, but on paper, your squad, your 11, if things can click, if you, like what happened to Nigeria in this tournament, you get out of the group, potentially, you know, how things lie in the bracket, you get an easy run, maybe you can go far. And I thought they might get things together and click. You saw Kudus and how he played in the second game, but they're just a bit of a mess. And you saw how the fans reacted after the final group game, people storming, stopping the team from leaving, someone attacking Chris, their manager. It's just
Wilder, yeah.
they, yeah, and it's weird because last Afcon when they didn't make it out of their group, and then it seemed like they were going through a big revamp structurally within their FA, and then they played Nigeria obviously in the playoff for the World Cup. They got to the World Cup. They did quite well in the World Cup. I think I don't know if they got out of their. I can't remember if they got out of their group or not, but they did quite well in their World Cup as a showing. And I thought they take that going into this tournament and be sort of dark horses, and they didn't get out of this group. So I don't know. They're just. I mean, for most people, it's not shocking, but for me, who had a bit of fear that they might do something, it's quite. I mean, I'm happy they didn't make it out of their group, but I'm also kind
Of
of
course.
surprised. Tunisia, I'm happy because last tournament they knocked us out, and I know they can be quite tricky for big nations. So I'm happy they didn't make it out. I'm surprised because that group, Mali, South Africa, Namibia, Tunisia, it's it's quite a, I would say, a balanced group in terms of uh, level of each team, but I still expected Tunisia to make it out. I mean, Mali, they
Right.
topped the group, 5 points.
Yes.
I expected Tunisia to be able to do that just based on the experience they have. They've played in multiple Afcons. They've been to World Cups. They have that. They have experience as a nation to be able to get out of a group like that. They didn't have to face the group Nigeria faced, the group Egypt faced, two difficult
Correct.
groups. They didn't have to go through that, and yet they finished bottom. So it's that to me is very surprising.
Yeah, definitely. And but as we said, this is AFCON, and that's just how it rolls. There's no easy games, and especially teams when you. So let's say Ghana, for instance, playing against Mozambique. Mozambique didn't have anything to play for. Mozambique out of it, but Mozambique still gave it all. Maybe I don't know. Maybe some Nigerians. I don't know. They had some influence. I don't know. But Mozambique played their heart out and because they didn't have to play hard. And sometimes we've seen this in the past where right there, rather the big team has to get a win, they get the win. But it was not the case. Even Egypt almost could have been out. Cape Verde couldn't do the business and knock them out. So Egypt barely got in as well because when you look at the points that some of these teams qualified with. Some teams qualified with 3 points. Cape Verde had
Yeah,
7 points. Egypt qualified with 3.
but Mozambique. If Mozambique had beaten Ghana, what the score in the game was? You know, they the the score in the game, it was 2-2. If Mozambique had beaten Ghana, they would have made it out of the group in second place.
That's a fair, true, very true,
Yeah.
very, very true, very true.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you see, yeah, and that group was a crazy group because it ended 7-3-2-2. Ghana on 2, Mozambique on 2. That was a crazy group. Senegal, Cameroon, that group was an interesting one because it was Senegal 9, the only group with 9, the only team, sorry, to top their group with 9 points. Cameroon on 4, Guinea on 4. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Mauritania qualified with 3 points from their group, a group where they were in with Angola that topped the group, 7 points. Burkina Faso 4, Mauritania 3. Algeria only mustered 2 points. Crazy. Congo, another team that qualified with 3 points, and Morocco with 7. So it was fine margins, but this new format where the best 3 came through, I think it worked out obviously for a lot of teams that were hanging by a thread, but not for the big boys, because it could have potentially, this format obviously is for the big nations, so that even if they are struggling a bit, they could have gotten out the groups, but it did not work out that way for a lot of them. But let's take a look. Let's try and predict and take a look now at the round of 16. So Nigeria, Cameroon, Angola, Namibia, Cape Verde, Mauritania, Morocco, South Africa, Bafana coming out to the group. Another team that were in some ticklish situation that was in hot water, that didn't start off too right, but their second game they did amazing and drew the last game. Mali, the team that I'm backing since the last Afcon, playing Burkina Faso. Senegal taking on the host. Can they take out the host? We'll see. Egypt versus Congo. And of course, Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea. So is this the Guinea, that's the Guinea derby, right? The Guinea derby, as I would like to say. I hope that's okay to say, the Guinea derby. Let's start from that. Let's start from that bracket there, Ladamus, all right? So Mali, Burkina Faso. So potentially, once Mali do the business and once Senegal do the business, they could face Senegal. And that is going to be a tough test for Mali. All the good football that Mali are playing, they're going to come up against a very tough game. Egypt, if Egypt get through, they can come up against a very tricky Equatorial Guinea that are not shy in front of goal. So definitely some tasty matchups. Let me get your predictions, your thoughts, how you see these games, that side of the bracket shaping out.
Cool. Yeah, I will say Egypt get past DR Congo.
Okay.
Equatorial Guinea and Guinea, it will be tough. I will say Equatorial Guinea, they've got goals in them.
Correct.
They showed against Ivory because they've got goals in them. I will say those two. Senegal, Ivory Coast. After what's happened and them potentially going out or looking like they were going out, they will now want to start showing, making up to potential embarrassment to their fans, and they will have to perform now. They will have they've been given this lifeline. They're host nations. They need to start performing, and this is going to be tough against a brilliant Senegal side. And it seems even when Senegal have been tested this tournament, in the first game, I don't think they were that great, but they were still able to get to win. Was it 3-1 or 3-0?
Yes, 3-0, 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. So I don't know. I think Senegal have too much. I think Senegal win.
Okay.
Yeah, because even though I want to say this is Afcon and it wouldn't. Yeah, Ivory Coast. I don't think they're not as gelled. They're not as cohesive. They've got the players. They certainly do have the players to potentially beat Senegal, but they're not a team. I look at Senegal and they're a complete team. They've got the stars in there, Mane, Koulibaly, Mendy, but they've also got the system in place. They've got the team in place. They've got the structure in place. Even if they're playing poorly, they can still come out with the win. Even if Mane is not turning up in the game, or they've got Ismail Ashar who can turn up.
Correct.
They've got
Yes.
Papa Sarr in midfield. They've got other players. They're not reliant. They're not like an Egypt who everything's played through Salah, or in
Correct.
Nigeria where everything's just played to Osimhen.
Simon.
Mane, they're not reliant on them. They've got other ways to unlock a defense and win games. So Senegal, I'm saying that they will beat Ivory Coast and go through. And
Yeah.
Mali, Burkina Faso, I don't know. If Burkina Faso beat Mali, I'm looking at it this way. What will be the tougher game for Senegal? In my opinion, the tougher game for Senegal will be Burkina Faso, just based on what they tend to do against big nations in Afcon tournaments. They tend to make them struggle and suffer. And if Burkina Faso face Senegal, they could potentially knock out Senegal, and that will make it a lot easier for other teams to win the tournament. So I don't know. Again, you watch a lot of Mali, so maybe Mali might be good enough to beat Senegal. I mean, you can probably tell me that, but I'm gonna go Burkina Faso. I've said this tournament I'm not gonna bet against them, so I'll stick with Burkina Faso.
Okay. Well, sadly, this is where once Mali beats Burkina Faso, which I think they can, it's not gonna be an easy game. It's gonna be a tough game. We saw Mali have a hard game in the last group stage fixture. But I think Mali have enough to beat them. I think so. Burkina Faso would have lost their last game on the day to Angola on the last day, but I think potentially they rested players, obviously. So, but I think it's going to be a very, very tough game. But I can see Mali doing the business and potentially going on to give Senegal a lot of trouble, but Senegal have the firepower. The Burkina Faso, I think Mali will win, and then the Mali-Senegal game will go to penalties. It will be that tight. I think it will be a tight one. Senegal, Ivory Coast, it's too late for them to, not against Senegal. But again, this is Afcon. You never know. But as you rightfully said, Senegal are probably the only star-studded team or big team of the Afcon that the attack is not centralized or localized through one player. If Mane gets a flu tomorrow, I am not worried for Senegal. If Mane has a bad game, he's on the field but a poor showing, still not worried for Senegal because as they rightfully called out, the two stars, even Kamara, there are some solid players there and even their keeper, the goalkeeper, Mendy's having a marvelous tournament, saving like never before. So I think all round, and then they still have Diallo. Didn't mention him. They have some solid defenders in the back. So I think Senegal for sure will have too much on the day for Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast, I can't see them. I really can't. But as you said, as we say, this is Afcon. We will see. But I definitely think that Senegal could give them a good run for their money. The next one, Egypt taking on Congo. You said that Egypt should win. I think Equatorial Guinea versus Egypt should be the quarterfinals. And I think Equatorial Guinea could beat Egypt. I think they could beat Egypt.
Equatorial Guinea beat Egypt.
I think so. I think they could beat them.
Yeah. When will Salah be back?
Potentially, if they make it to the quarters, I think he'll be back by quarters. Don't quote me on that. I think it's quarters.
Yeah, so Egypt v Equatorial Guinea will be the quarterfinal. I don't because Egypt are a better team without Salah. Like they play better.
Correct.
Without having to focus on Salah. So I don't. Let me say. You know what? It's Afcon. Let me say Equatorial Guinea. They'll win. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so let's move across to the next bracket. So we're not going to talk about the first game. Nigeria wins, right? Boom. I just joking. I joke. But but we will give the edge. I'm personally giving the edge to Nigeria in that one, right?
Yeah.
So potentially Nigeria can come out and face. I'm gonna say Namibia. Namibia beats Angola.
Um, Namibia, Angola. Let me just quickly look through.
No problem. No problem. You can do that. I know what you're going to look for. You can do that. No,
Namibia, Angola. Let me just quickly look
Namibia
through.
finished two in their group. Now Angola has the better goal advantage. They scored 6 goals. They won their group. Yes, so they definitely have the goal threat. Maybe have to work on the goal scoring, but you never know. I think if they work on their defensive shape, they could they could frustrate Angola. And I'm just edging it to Namibia. But of course, I think on paper, Angola will be favorites. On paper.
Angola are a great side. They
Yeah.
really are. They beat Burkina Faso 2-0, which
Yeah.
is not an easy thing to do.
Correct.
Um, yeah, yeah, okay. I'm gonna say Angola. Angola.
All right. Nope. I have no problem with that. Next up, so we say Nigeria, Angola, right?
Yeah.
And then when Nigeria beat Angola, they are gonna face off with right, right. Yeah. You don't have to say anything, eh? You don't have to say anything, right? You, right? I understand, right?
You said it.
Next
You
up,
said it. I mean, so when it doesn't happen,
I
you said
said
it.
it. I am not. I'm not Nigerian, so there's no blight, there's no goat mouth, nothing on it, right? So
Don't
don't
worry.
worry
Listen,
about it.
if it happens, I'll give you a Nigerian passport. I'll make sure we get
Hey, I'm there, bro. There, bro. Right? Cape Verde versus Mauritania. Now, this one could be a little tricky, but we've seen Cape Verde could score goals. We've seen Mauritania could score goals. I think I'll have to edge it to Cape Verde. Cape Verde, I could see them potentially beating Mauritania and face off against. Whew, this is a tricky one, right? I don't know. I'm gonna make it. South Africa versus Cape Verde quarters. What say you, lad?
it. South Africa.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, South Africa beat Morocco.
yeah, yep. So I'm not crazy. Thank you for that. I
I,
appreciate
I'm
that.
saying that because listen, a lot of people around the Morocco train because of the World Cup, and I know they are very good defensively, but
Of course,
offensively
of course.
they they are so poor. I watched their last two group games particularly in detail. They are so poor going forward. They rely a lot on getting the first goal and then sitting and defending that lead because they play very well, particularly in the last game. They play very well defensively. They know how to break down attacks and stop them, but in terms of being able to go forward and score goals, uh, yeah, I just think South Africa. I just see South Africa beating them.
Yeah,
Yeah, South
I know
Africa
it's a
go through.
shock. I know people won't agree. I know it sounds crazy, but I can see it. I can definitely see it. I can see South Africa giving them a run for their money, especially now that South Africa is weakened up and Towers weaken up. Everyone is alive and well. Everyone is, but I'm not underestimating Morocco. I'm not underestimating the pedigree. They made it to semis in the World Cup. They have the team to do it. As you rightfully say, if they score the first goal and lock you down, but they have to be very careful of that because they cannot handle the bombardment. We've realized it's only sooner or later the defense gives way and then they concede. As I keep saying, Hakimi is the most informed striker. Right? Hakimi is the only one that seems to be hungry and pushing their attack, fueling their attack. He's overlapping, not even overlapping, forget that. He's up there, right? He's up there. Striking the ball, causing problems. And yes, that's you want that from your fullback, but not the way that he is doing it. So if teams are looking at their tactics properly and looking and scouting Morocco properly, and they find a way to keep Hakimi busy in the back, I think that neutralizes most of Morocco's threat, at least in attack. So I'm just edging it to South Africa, but of course, we know on the other hand what Morocco brings to the table, and they could potentially make it all the way to the final, obviously. But based on this bracket, I would like to see potentially Senegal, Egypt, semis, and I would like to see a potentially Nigeria, South Africa / Morocco semis, and then I will say Senegal, Nigeria meet in the final, which I think will be a brilliant final. If you don't want to go that far and to predict that far, Ladamas, I won't blame you. I won't blame you. If you would, let me know, but I won't blame you.
I would rather, if Nigeria were to get to the final, I don't want to play Senegal. I'd rather play Burkina Faso again.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just because they've been. I mean, they were just in the final last year. They have experience. They have pedigree. They have too much in them, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, will we even get that far? I think. I mean, assuming we get past Cameroon, we'd have to face Angola. I think we could beat them potentially, considering how good our offense has been. I think we could potentially keep them out.
Right.
Cape Verde. Well, who do we say is going past Cape Verde or Morocco, South Africa? Who's getting to that semifinal?
So Cape Verde is going to play against South Africa / Morocco. Let me say it with my chest. South Africa, right? They're going to play South Africa, and South Africa, I think, come out on top. So they will face whoever comes out of your bracket, your side of the thing.
You think that that's the end of Cape Verde's brilliant tournament? You think they don't get to the semi?
No, I think whoever they meet, even if they meet Morocco, I think that's it for them.
Ooh. Interesting. To be fair, that's still a very good tournament from them. So
no, they compared to last time, brilliant. And they top. Look at the group they topped. That's no easy feat. No easy feat. They scored 7 goals, 7 points on top of Egypt, on top of Ghana, and they won 2 and drew on 1. Come on. That's a brilliant tournament. Brilliant tournament. But to be fair, they're not gonna face, they are now going to face teams that are not shy in front of goal. So let's see how that goes. Of course, I think they can at least they should have enough to take on Mauritania and then move on and then they face South Africa or Morocco, which I think will be a goal fest. Either one will be a goal fest. South Africa's defense will be the only thing that lets them down if they don't get past potentially Cape Verde. That's the only thing I can see because again, Cape Verde could score goals, but South Africa finally found a goal. They're scoring boots, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But that's my that's my
I don't know. It will be interesting. I I just don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to think that far ahead.
And that's fine. As I said, that's fine. I am not forcing you, my friend. I understand. You have a lot at stake here. I understand, my friend. And I am not forcing you, my friend. I am just saying, what I am seeing based on a football trajectory. That's all. But you don't have to follow me. You are safe, my friend. I understand. Not putting any pressure on my good friend Ladamas at all. Right? Not doing that. But this is what the bracket looks like. This, and of course, because of this map now, we can potentially predict who's going, who me or who we would like to who to face each other. So as I said before, now of course I love my Mali, but can Mali, if Mali beats Senegal, that would be great. Then I give them the edge to go to the final for sure, all the way. No matter who they meet, I give them it. But the dark horses of the knockout rounds, obviously, for me, the dark horses have a great outside shout. Cape Verde and Equatorial Guinea. They have great shouts to do something to cause a shock. I mean, that could be a final right there. Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea could be a final, a what if moment. That could be a crazy, crazy in an alternative universe. On Earth, 233, Cape Verde meet Equatorial Guinea in the final. That is
True,
right?
true,
Anything
true.
is possible. Anything and nothing we say here is law or
You
has
know
to
what?
happen. Anything could happen.
Even Ivory Coast, as bad as they've been,
Right, right.
if they manage to knock out Senegal, then it's. I mean, when you look at their side of the bracket, assuming they beat Senegal, is there another team in there that they? I mean, yes, Mali or Burkina Faso will be a struggle, but that confidence they could get from beating Senegal, that run to the final is there and open. So it's very interesting. Yeah, this Afcon tournament just it's been so brilliant so far, and it's very interesting that even looking at the brackets to get to the final, it's a lot of what ifs, a lot of what
Yeah,
ifs.
yeah. Yeah, there's no certainty. You can't just, yes, I mean, we could say on paper, but the group, just looking at this alone, the group did not go according to paper. So why should the knockarounds go according to paper? Right?
Exactly.
It has no reason to. So yeah, definitely we saw some interesting results. So yeah, definitely going to be an interesting weekend of football, crazy action to come. On so of course, as I would have said earlier, so this Saturday, Angola face off against Namibia. That's at 1 p.m. That's EST. That'll be about what, 5 p.m. UK time? Yeah, about that, 5 p.m. UK time. And then Nigeria face Cameroon, 4 p.m. EST, which is about 8 p.m. UK time. Then on Sunday, we have the Guinea Derby, Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea. That'll be at 1 p.m. again, EST, 5 p.m. UK. Egypt take on the Republic of Congo, Sunday, 4 p.m. That's the late fixture. And then on Monday, we have Cape Verde versus Mauritania, Senegal versus Ivory Coast in the late fixture. And then Mali on Tuesday take on Burkina Faso, and Morocco take on South Africa. The quarterfinals are scheduled for Friday and Saturday. The semis will be on the next Wednesday, and then finals will be on the 11th of February. So you have a third place game, which will be on the 10th of February, which is the Saturday, and then Sunday we have the finals. So action heating up in the Afcon. We can't wait to see how it plays off. So let me just segue really quickly into this. I will try not to be too long. So this is where I've reached Nadamas in my fantasy team selection. That is it there. I think I'm the most important player there. Now I don't have to for this team, Latimus. I know you don't play fantasy, but based on the teams that are in the knockout rounds, I'll be taking some suggestions from you just to fill in the holes and the spaces. Right? This is not
Oh,
necessarily my
you can build another fantasy team.
yes. So for the knockout round, we have unlimited transfers for the knockout rounds.
Okay.
Yes, we have unlimited, so we can just fill in. So if you have any names, I'm not gonna say no. Whatever you call, based on the fixtures, we can go from there.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. So
Hmm.
I am, of course, so Mane can't go wrong. Mane, first and foremost, Mane has to be there.
Actually, what from Senegal? Actually, I, I mean, yes, Mane, but I would be looking to pick um, Ishmael Sarr.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
You look
Yeah.
at him,
Not
his statistics, he is the second, well, third top goal assister in the tournament with two. And I think he would also be cheaper than Mane, right? He's a lot
correct.
cheaper than Mane. So I think in terms money wise, I mean, Mane also has two assists in this tournament. So if you're talking about saving money for another player that would be more expensive, I would, you and your viewers, I would be picking Mane.
So okay, so I put now you can double up, nothing wrong with double. That's if you have the confidence that they're gonna reach far and you double up.
Yeah,
So
you
we
could.
could go with that. We could double up. So we get all the points there, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now our next few teams. So I'm wondering goalkeeper wise who to go for goalkeeper wise. There's some interesting names still in the hat. Let me take off this filter. Right. So we have Morocco's goalkeeper. We have Ivory Coast. Of course, we have Mendy from Senegal. You have your favorite goalkeeper, Onana. Right.
Yeah. I mean, if we're all saying Senegal get to the final, it has to be Mendy, right?
Yeah.
It has to be Mendy. Bono, he's expensive because everyone expects
Yeah.
Morocco. I mean, listen, if people think maybe Nigeria could make it, maybe Noam Bali, I'm assuming he'll be very cheap.
Yeah, not a bad shout. I'm even thinking so cheap wise, I'm looking at Cape Verde's keeper just for he's 4.0, right?
Ooh,
Yeah, I know, right? He's 4.0, right?
yeah, he
And
actually might
then
be probably a shout. Yeah.
yeah, and then I could say maybe Egypt's keeper, and I can leave it right there, or even let's say even Equatorial Guinea's keeper, just for cheapness, because we I don't go too ham on goalkeepers, so we could that's something like that just to get those funds out the way, easy peasy one time, and then focus on the fix the accounts that really matter, the players that really matter. So I could bring in my Owono, who I always had anyway. So we have 76 left in the bank. So goalkeepers out the way now, right? Goalkeepers out of the way. All right. Defenders, midfielders, forwards, strikers. Score some strikers. Latimus, do I have to get Oshiman?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Don't jinx it. I wouldn't. He hasn't been uh he hasn't been per se at his best. A few chances he's had, he's scuffed at. Also, he's not been given enough service. We play Cameroon next, so you would think in theory, with Onana in goal, he's been conceding against everyone this season. So you would think it might be a free for all, and Oshiman and the Nigerian attack in general might be able to get chances and be able to feed off. But who knows? The Cameroon manager might think, you know what, Onana, rest for this game as well. So I wouldn't pick Oshiman just for that. But in terms of forwards, listen, Equatorial Guinea, top goal scorer,
Yeah,
Emilio Insu.
yeah. Have
And he's
to.
also a defender in the game, right?
Yes, he's
In
a
in
defender in the game.
he's a defender. So you have to pick him.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. There's
That's a no-brainer.
there's
So we have a
Baghdad Bounedjah, who plays for Algeria. He has 3 goals.
Algeria's out. Don't forget.
Oh, sorry, they're out.
I know it's I
There-
know I know you're grieving. I know you're grieving, but yeah,
there's
Algeria's out.
Mustafa Mohammed. He's got three
So
goals for
him
Egypt. So
him
yeah.
over Mamouche? Him over Mamouche?
Um yes,
All right. And he's
because
cheaper too.
with Egypt's with no Salah, you need someone who's going to step up. And Mustafa Mohammed, he already has 3 goals in the tournament. So
Good.
You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think
yeah.
up against you know, up against you know, Congo, you would think if
Yeah.
he's given a couple of chances that he'll put one away, be able to take
Right.
them
No
through.
problem. No problem. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Any assets from the Angola game? Angola are facing. I want to bring it up properly. Right. So Angola facing Namibia. Or any assets from that match? Or you're staying away
Uh,
from that? That's not a bad match to jump on.
and
The guy with
Mabalulu,
yeah, as a striker.
yeah, he has 2 goals already in the tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
So
bad,
if I
right?
mean, I'm assuming he might be cheap. So if you would want to
He's
pick him,
5.0. Yep, definitely
yeah,
cheap.
yeah.
Great price.
So if
That's the
you want
prices
to
we
pick
like.
him, he already has 2 goals in the tournament. So if you know, just throw him in, you know, maybe cheekily, who knows what he could, um, you know, who knows what he could do up against Namibia.
Yeah. What do you think about Ziyech from Morocco?
Ziyech,
Yeah.
he has been good. He scored, I think, he has a goal and an assist. Um, so, but he also picked up a bit of a knock against in the third game, and he came off at half time. But then again, that could have been a tactic for Morocco because they were already 1-0 up.
Right.
But yeah, I think if Morocco want to go far again, you know, they want to replicate their World Cup performance and they want to go far and potentially win Afcon. You know, Ziyech will have to be a talisman for them. As much as we speak about Hakimi and we speak about you know, Bono, Ziyech is their captain and he is going to have to step up and be a creative spark. How expensive is he?
He's 10.1.
10.1. Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he if is he worth throwing in? I would put in maybe actually is he worth putting in?
Yeah.
Maybe.
If if someone wants to get like the potential attack points from Morocco, if not him, Hakimi. He's just
Yeah,
like Hakimi, he's a defender. But we have Sui for that too. So, yeah.
yeah.
Definitely, those are the kind of if you think it's too expensive, you could go him. But I mean, we can look at other teams, other matchups to try and pick our midfielders and strikers from. So I mean, so if we avoided him for now, just for now, we can look at some of the creators from the other teams. So I'm Tau from South Africa. Can't deny his form. Yes, they're playing against Morocco, tricky one, but he finally woke up, as I like to say, finally woke up, finally realized, okay, I need to get the ball rolling. So he might be a decent one. Just now. Let me see what the top scoring midfielders in this app so far. So you have Mane Salah, it can be decent shout. So they have Ziyech, Lookman, Sa from Senegal. We have enough Senegal there. We have Traore, Bertrand Traore from Burkina Faso, Simon from Nigeria, Trezeguet from Egypt. He has been solid as well. That's not a bad shout. Wisa from Congo is not a terrible shout, just for a cheap option.
Yeah,
That's not a bad shout.
he would
Because
be a good
Congo,
shot.
yeah, that's not a bad shout. Congo, they have to go for it. They have to go for it. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. They play in Egypt. I think they will fancy their chances. No, not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. And he looks solid on the eye test. He looked very solid on the eye test. All right, strikers. Let's see what strikers we could probably potentially throw in here. Don't want to stay too long. So no Ashiman, forget that. No Ashiman at all, at all, at all. I know you gave me your reasons, but if I want a Nigerian, and which Nigerian, then if I want to get one asset from Nigeria, who do you recommend? It doesn't have to be, it can be any position, striker, mid, or
I
defender.
would go, okay, Nigerian assets. There's Noam Bali, goalkeeper, because he will be quite cheap. if you'd want to put him in. Calvin Bassey, he's been brilliant for us in the tournament. A rock defensively. I've liked him when he played for Fulham as well in the Premier League. Anyone's been watching him. There's Ola Aina. He's a
Mhm.
well, he can play either side at fullback. He's been brilliant at wing back for us this tournament. He played for Nottingham Forest. People watch him in the Premier League. He's played in
Correct.
Europe. He's a seasoned, experienced. He would also be quite. Was he 4.3? So also quite
4.5.
cheap.
Brilliant.
4.5. Yeah. So he,
Bargain.
that's a good price for him. Good value. So either of those two. Um, as if anyone wants to put a forward in, I mean, look, if people want to put in Oshiman, I could understand that it's a toss up, but a cheaper option, I would look at Ademola Lookman for Nigeria.
Right.
He's got an
Yeah.
assist in our first game, and he's potentially being our best forward this tournament. And if we are going to look to try and go far, he's been playing closest to Oshiman. And if we're going to look to try and go far, his combination with Oshiman is going to be big, is going to be key. So yeah, I've named you 5 Nigerian players.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys can try
I'm
and
not
pick
sure
from.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Solid.
haven't picked any Ivory Coast players.
Well, I was now going to click on Ivory Coast. Let's do it. Let's see what we could muster up there. Now, I had Kessie for most of the tournament. As we know,
Yes.
Haller is injured. Idingra didn't do anything. He is from Dazzy Brighton. I said Pepe, so no one really stood out except for Kessie. Kessie to me was
Where did
the
Haller
standout
come
player. Let me see. Let me see if there's any news on Haller. Let me see. Let me see. There's nothing. Let me see if they have anything returning on him. I'm seeing that there are people who are 6% of the managers have him, but I didn't see any news recently if he is coming back. Halle injury. Let's see quickly. I'll let you know. Seeing I'm not seeing anything like that. Like if he's gonna be back. Said he married, working to get him ready. His ankle is healed. It's his physical work that remains. He can. So they were saying he should have returned for the final group game, but that already has gone. So, and I'm not seeing any recent updates. The most recent one was the 17th. I'm not seeing anything that says, well, all right, he should be back looking good. Nothing like that. So I don't want to risk that. Don't want to risk that. But they were saying he should have been back since the last one. So we're not too sure. And then what do you think about Ivory Coast sacking? I think they sacked the manager. Ghana sacked the manager and Ivory Coast sacked the manager as well during the tournament. I guess Ivory Coast thought they were going to be dumped. So that's why they did that. But yeah, I wouldn't jump on. So to answer your question in short, no, there's no one that I will jump on Ivory Coast. Of course, you always want one asset from one, but I won't jump on them. I won't jump on them. And I haven't I've already brought in my Mali assets already, brought in my Komori and my Traore, so I'm happy with that. I brought in, so I was looking at I'm looking at the Angola striker. That's not a bad shout. Just to have someone in that game. I think that's a good shout. It's just good to have spread the assets of it. So he's a good shout. There's even Jelson, and he's even cheaper. He has 19 points. Okay, so I can even chuck him in. Let's go with that one. Little differential. Love it. We just need a forward and defender. Let me see what fixtures. Let's be a little different there. So we have the Equatorial Guinea fixture covered. Did we touch Cape Verde? We didn't. Yes, no, we didn't touch Cape Verde. Cape Verde is one we could touch. Any other team, any fixture you think I'm being harsh to that I didn't touch that you think I should? pay some attention to. Now, Mendes, yes, he's a good shout, you know. He has been really, really good from Cape Verde, you know. It's a good shout. I think I'm gonna take out Wisa and get yeah, I'm gonna take out Wisa. I'm gonna put in Mendes. He's a great shout. And we still have enough for defender. And what do you think about that?
But the team,
Yeah, so
Traore,
I took out Congo, brought in Mendes from Cape Verde. He has been solid.
yeah, no, he has been. He has been good. I'm just looking through, and I'm trying to see for Mendes. He's been the guy creating goals for Cape Verde.
Yeah, he has been solid.
Yeah. So he's probably worth putting in because if
Yeah,
Cape Verde are still going to be scoring goals, it's worth having him in the team then as their creator.
yeah.
No, Bebe. He doesn't look like someone you're going to pick.
Ah, you know that's he's a good one too, you know. Gosh, why you bringing up him? Yeah, he was brilliant. He was definitely brilliant. That's a good shout, you know. He is a great shout. 9 points. Yeah, he's a good
There's
shout too.
Tabores.
Hmm. I'll stick with Mendes. I'll stick with, as a midfielder option unless I go really strong. So I could probably potentially drop Lookman, but I want a Nigerian, somebody from Nigeria. So I want that. I want the Cape Verde. I want the Mali for sure. I can go crazy and drop Sa and then try to invest from one other fixture, but then I would like the double Senegal. I think those are good to have. I just need one more asset, a good striker. Who's the strongest striker besides Asherman? I'm listening to you. He said don't touch Asherman. But who's the strongest striker that I have not touched right now? And right,
Oh,
let's look at it.
Mali, Lassen, Sinayoko.
Sanayoko, how disrespectful of me. Yes. Thank you for that. Well, I think that's it there. No, I think that is what we will definitely take that. I think that's who I will take. I think that's a good shout just now. But he's a mid. I don't know if he's a strike. Hold on. I think I had Sinayoko, but to me he's a mid. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me see. What is Sinayoko? Yeah, he's a midfielder. Ooh. Interesting predicament here. Well, all right. I'll know what I'll do here. Simple. So I'll bring in Sinayoko. And then what I'll do, I will have to do it. And I'll bring in Oshiman. And I think that's the team right there. I think that's a solid team right there. I could even, if I want, get rid of Kamori, bring in someone. I could say, all right, maybe I don't have enough Morocco representation. I could swap Kamori out for a varying amount of there are a lot of great options out there that I can do. I personally will keep him, but you can always say maybe let's see. We could go on it can be from Cameroon, Ziyech, if Ziyech is fit, right? We have a lot of options. Simon from Nigeria, there's a lot of great options. Trezeguet from Egypt, Wissa, who I just had in the team, and Kudu from Cameroon. So a lot of great options there if you think you want to swap. But I think I would stick with the Kamori and Traore. That's me. So I'm going heavily invested in Mali. So that's my statement, my me saying for sure Mali will qualify. So let me just run through. So this is my team here for the round of 16, with of course the help from Latimus. So we have Mohammed from Egypt, Gelson, who I'm saying that correct, from Angola, Oshimen from Nigeria, Mane and Sa from Senegal, Komori from Mali, Mendes from Cape Verde, Sinayoko from Mali again, and Sui, the boss, the goat, he might get player of the tournament, you never know, from Equatorial Guinea. Traore from Mali, Hakimi from Morocco, Aina again from Nigeria, Egazi from Egypt, Bosina, and Owono are my keepers, right? We've seen it from Cape Verde, Owono from Equatorial Guinea. I'm going to play a 3-4, a 3-5, a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 potentially, or maybe a 3-4-3. So if I'm doing 3-4-3, yes, that messes me up with who I will start with, like in terms of midfield. So I may just have to bench someone. So I may bench Komori, start Sanayoko. So my 3-4-3 will be Nsui, Traore, Hakimi, Mane, Sa, Mendes, Sanayoko, Osimhen, Gelson, and Mohamed up top. Angola kick things off tomorrow. So I'm glad to have at least one play in that match tomorrow. So at least I could potentially have some points to start off the round. And there you have it, guys. That's our show. Anything you will change on this team really quickly, Adamus? I will captain Mane, of course. I don't know, Adamus, anybody you think I've been harsh on, or this is a solid mixture of the round of 16 coming up?
Yeah, I think that's a good team. I mean, listen, Osimhen is in there, so he has to score now.
Has to score. Please. Right?
Yeah, I do think that is a very good team. Very well spent as well.
Yeah,
it's not
still have 8.5 in the bank.
Have you spent everything left? Yeah.
Yeah, still have 8.5. I still have 8.5 in the bank.
Oh wow! See?
Yeah.
You don't need to just go and rush and grab all the big stars because this is Afcon. The big stars haven't been, but us, the big stars have not been performing.
Correct, except for Mane. So yeah, and even him by his standards. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing I want to say. Because you look at Egypt and people have spoken about Salah not turning up. People speak about Osimhen not turning up for Nigeria. Look at Senegal, and when I've watched Mane, he hasn't been at his best per se. But that's why when I speak about Osimhen and I talk about the team not performing for him as well, because you look at Senegal, Mane may not have been at his best in the first game, but the team still turned up and performed. That's why, as great as a player you may be, you need your team. You need your team to perform.
Correct.
You can only be as great as your team. And you look at Senegal, and if Mane's having an off game, Sarr will turn up and he'll score. Diallo will turn up and he'll score. You know, you've got players off the bench as well who can do the job. So that's what's so great about Senegal, and that's why they were able to win the Afcon last year or last tournament. They're so great as a team that they're not reliant on Mane. They've got the team, they've got the structure.
Yeah, and you're right. And but we'll see how it plays out. Maybe he will peak at the right time, but he has been contributing. And I also have to say too that he only recently came back from injury to us. So I don't know if that's playing a part. He don't want to be sidelined again to force himself. But what I've noticed with Senegal, even since the last Afcon, and what I love about Mane, as much as Mane is his star, he is not the focal point, and he has no problem with dropping back and winning the ball for his team, and then distributing the ball. And that is why Sarr, Kamara, and all these other guys are the forefront, because their captain, their talisman, is doing the nitty-gritty work, the hard work, because we don't see a lot of star players doing that. And he digs deep, brings the ball from deep, and provides it. And it does not be a detriment to the overall performance of Senegal. So I always respect that from him. But definitely we could see some more. We love to see more from him. But maybe who knows? We will see it when they play against Ivory Coast. It's a big game, and it's a high-pressured game. It's against the host. Let's not forget that. The 12th man could play a huge role in that. And speaking of the 12th man, Ladanos, before you go, I don't know if you can shed some light on something for me. As I keep saying, not just because you're watching Afcon, but Afcon fans or African, the whole diaspora have to be one of the most colorful, excited, unpredictable fans. I've seen some things that I've never seen before. I can't explain. But I saw something very interesting, Ladamus. I saw someone painted, I can't remember the colors, but painted down, obviously. I can't remember which game it was. It was a recent game. They were losing, and I think they came back. But the guy had a tree, I want to say a plate, almost like a plate, and rice. And he was flinging up rice and stuff. Is that some type of that ritual or something? What is it? Does the rice represent something? If you're familiar with that, Ladamus?
No, I don't. I'm not. Uh, I've not seen that done before. But that's just listen. Listen. Everyone has their own way of celebrating or being a fan or causing atmosphere. Uh, everyone has their own crazy way. You look at South American football and how crazy they can be. Look at some
Correct.
parts of Eastern Europe and how their fans can be. This
Yeah.
is African fans, man. So listen, people who are watching, either you're watching a tournament for the first time, or you've been a lifelong viewer, or you're just been getting into it over the first couple of tournaments. You're always going to see crazy stuff like this happening, and it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. You're not going to get this in the Premier League. You're not going to get a Man United fans who are angry about how their team is performing. No one's going to stop the team bus. No one's going to stop journalists from going into the press room. No one's going to attack. No one's going to attack Eric Ten Hag. Only in Africa.
Bro,
So yeah,
for real.
hey, maybe listen. And also, I'll keep reiterating this on every stream I go on. The refereeing, VAR, no problems. I've watched just about every game. You've watched games as well. I've not seen any incident. When they've gone and used VAR, it hasn't taken a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like what they go check VAR, they come back. What, a minute has passed? Maybe not even. There's no trouble, no incidents. It happens very smoothly and seamlessly, and which is funny because when I watch Premier League games all the time. I watch Chelsea games all the time, and it's always a big farce during the game with VAR, and then controversy after the game. You've got fans who are complaining, oh, they didn't draw the lines. You've got talking about us as content creators. We're talking about it. No one's spoken about refereeing. No one's spoken about VAR being used. And I was someone who was kind of skeptical about how VAR would work in this, just because I watch Premier League so much. I see how it can be used incorrectly. I was kind of nervous and saying, is it going to be used poorly? I don't want this to look badly on the tournament, but it's been used seamlessly. If Premier League need more referees, you know where to go.
No, you're right. It's been used brilliantly, and not just that, as you said too. At least I have not seen anyone on Twitter or anyone on ESPN, all the glorious pundits, say anything. I've not seen any Instagram, TikToks, or stories with look at this, or anyone complaining. And I like the fact that they are using the technology and they are saying, hey, ref, I think you should take a look at this. Because in the Premier League, it appears that the VAR is saying, well, no, it's fine. They are saying, ref, come quickly, take a look at the screen, and you have your opinion, please. The only thing I would say, I think this is just a Serie A fan in me. Some of the pens have been a little soft, but that does not mean they weren't pens. They are pens, right? They were all correct. I have no issues with the call so far. You're right. The VAR, just like World Cup. I mean, yes, we got a few, but just like World Cup and just like Afcon now, great. Outside of England, it's been brilliant. Something is wrong with how they're doing it in England, but
no, I agree. So the penalty decisions, yeah, I agree. They have been a bit soft, but this is the day and age we live in. If you get touched in the box, it's a pen, even if it's not.
That's it.
So that's unfortunately that's the rules. But even the pen we got in the second game against Ivory Coast, that was soft. That was very. I'll say honestly, that was very soft. But well, fortunately for us, according to the rules, it's a penalty. So
it's a pen. Yeah, once there's contact. That's it. It's as simple as that. Yeah, well, Adamus, I want to thank you very much. So I guess next week we schedule something for next week for the quarterfinals.
Yes.
Quarterfinals is Friday the 2nd, so we can try and schedule something maybe the same Thursday or something like that next week. And
as long as Nigeria go through, yes, I'll be here.
You're not gonna get up that easily. Nobody else. I'm just kidding. But of course,
Yeah.
yes, right. So once provided things go accordingly, no problem. I can't wait. So hopefully Mali can do the business again with Burkina Faso. That's what I'm hoping. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Hope enjoying our Afcon content so far. Don't forget, you can check out Latimus on Sarcasm TV on Twitch. Of course, they will be doing, if not all, majority of the games live. Y'all are doing Nigeria, Cameroon, obviously, so y'all can check them for that on Twitch, Sarcasm TV, and check it on Twitter as well. And you can check out Latimus Prime on Twitter as well, always with some interesting opinions. If you're a Chelsea fan and you want to rab some banter with him, or you're not a Chelsea fan and he loves the banter, you can go ahead and follow him on Twitter. All right, so we'll
Yes,
see you
I
guys in the
will.
next one.
And
Off
also,
topic though.
people
Go ahead.
subscribe here as well. Sorry, yeah, people,
Yeah, man.
follow, subscribe here. I'm someone who, people know I don't play FBL, mainly because when I do play FBL, I usually forget about it within the first couple of weeks.
Right, of
I
course, of
usually
course.
forget. But it's always interesting when watching the channel, and you can just telling from these Afcon picks that you've the team that you've created for FPL, that you don't go for the obvious picks, but your picks always make logical sense. And the players that you pick, based on just because of the research you put in, the players that you pick tend to perform as well. So even though they're not the most obvious or expensive, they're still very good players. So it's all credit to the work that you put in here.
Hey, thanks, bro. Yes, trust me, not easy. It's a lot of, because again, we don't have access to African football 24/7, like on TV. I have to obviously go look for streams, go look for research. But the information is there, thankfully. It is not difficult to find, not like a few years ago, as recent as 2 years ago or so, 5 years ago, the information is there. So I'm glad that a lot of people are taking the time to put the info out there, and we can enjoy the Afcon and, of course, Asian content as well. That the Asian Cup hasn't going really well. I've not been following it as I wanted to, but I must say that
Yeah,
it has been so far.
it's a shame both tournaments are going on at the same time. I
Yeah,
would have
that's the
loved to be
tricky
able to
part.
watch it, but I just don't
Yeah,
have the time with watching Afcon and going about my own personal life. I just don't have the time to watch any of it.
exactly. I know, but I want to be shameless before we go. First, I'm gonna be shameless. I'm gonna click the end stream right away when I say this. But on Wednesday, aside fantasy, Afcon aside everything, on Wednesday, I'm going to be a Chelsea fan. Up the Blues. All right, guys. I go and take care. Happy picking, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.